If you ask a young guy of today's generation what's going on with his life, he's more likely to answer to you with, I don't even know where it's going. It's just getting out of hand. I don't like the way it is. I feel like I have no control over what's going on with my life. What is the reason that young men of today's world feel this way? What is the reason that young men of today's world feel lost? Why do they feel like that they have no control over their life? Or what is the thing that is causing this feeling towards them? Well, when was the last time that you actually took a conscious decision instead of making an impulsive one? So in this video, I'm simply going to explain to you the differences between conscious decisions and impulsive decisions and the end result of those two. Because today's young men do not understand what decision making is. They can't make a decision for themselves. They would suggest the decisions of ChatGPT but not the decisions of their own mind, because their own mind has been manipulated by these evil social media companies, by these evil society corporations that don't want these young men to be standing against them, that don't want these young men to be better with their lives. Because for them, for these social media and the evil society corporations, for those guys, you're just a piece of consumer. You're just a consumer of their product. They only care about what the product and what the product could do and how they can increase the consumption of their product, not the consumer, because you're just a consumer, right? So here's what you do. Your life is going shit. You don't like the way it's going. So you start to search for the answers in social media. You go out there and you're like, oh yeah, how do I get rich? How do I get fit? How do I become the best version of myself? Well, yes, you can learn things from social media, but the main cause of your defeat in having control over your life is social media and the movies. Well, how do the movies and social media make you lose control over your life? Simple. Back in those days, in our grandfather's time, in our father's time, we could see people dressing the same way as the hero of the movie would, speaking the same dialogues as the hero of the movie would. And it's still going the same way. But those days, those movies, at least those movies, they offered entertainment, true. But those movies had some sort of philosophy to them, had some sort of life skill to them. Like the hero had been working since a young age and now he's 40 years of age, he's got all that and he's still a good person. He still treats people the same way. Those kinds of movies in the olden days, they had a reason for you to watch them. But the movies nowadays, just take men as an example, alright? Those days movies portrayed men as masculine, as caring, as giving. Men are builders. And yes, the old movies portrayed men as builders. They portrayed them as leaders. But take the new movies. How do they portray men? Cowards, simps, wimps, losers, who don't even like to live their lives. Like, I'm not talking about all the movies, alright? A few good movies do come out the way with portraying men in the way that they should be. But most of the movies that you learn from, most of the movies that you watch, portray men as cowards, as losers. So, what ends up happening is that the young men like us who are not exposed to the world as much as the older people tend to watch these movies and tend to think to ourselves that, okay, this is the world, this is how I must be. So they are subconsciously programming you to be a weak and cowardly person because they don't want you standing up and telling people that this is wrong, we need to fix this. They want losers and cowards who accept whatever that they are doing. Back in those days, people had to fight over their opinions. They had to fight for their rights. But nowadays, you fight for nothing. You don't even fight for the sake of your family. You don't even fight for the sake of having satisfaction in your life. You fight for nothing. Men are fighters. Men are builders. That's what makes us men. That's what makes us who we are. Do you think any great man in history was suffering with depression, anxiety, and all those modern world bullshit? No, absolutely not. They were out there conquering the world. But you are sitting in your room, alright, and you are suffering with, fighting with things that don't even exist. So the best way for a young man to have control over his life is to let go of all the things that make him want to make an impulsive decisions. Alright, in social media, he's looking at all kinds of crap. all kinds of nonsense. In movies, he's watching a man be a coward, a loser, a person who cannot provide for society, a person who's not needed for society, in fact. That's what it portrays a man as. And matter of fact, it portrays the evil guys as masculine. It portrays the evil guys with smart thinking, critical thinking. But in the end, as they are evil, they'll be dead. Boom, gone. What about the man who's the hero of the movie? What if he's masculine? He can't fight if you cannot fight. Do you understand me? You can't fight a war if you don't even know how to fight. So what is this war I'm talking about? It's about having control over your own life. Knowing the difference between impulsive decisions and conscious decisions. So you look at social media, look at these movies, you get to have a false understanding of what life is. And then, eventually, you get those impulses, right? You get to have those impulses. Like, when was the last time you actually wanted to eat a burger? When was the last time you actually wanted to eat an ice cream? Well, maybe you're just going down the street, you saw an ice cream shop or a burger shop, and you just had the impulse inside of you to eat it. And you just chose to go along with the impulse. But instead, the people who have conscious decisions, the guys who actually want to eat a burger and eat a burger instead of having an impulse over it, tend to have a better control over their life instead of the guys who just follow along the impulses. So in simple words, if you want to have a control over your life instead of letting other circumstances control you, there are simple things that you must do. First of all, understand how the media portrays man to be and just let go of all your beliefs from the media. Don't trust the media. Just let go of everything and just think to yourself for a fact. Take real life people as examples, not movie heroes, not movie stars. Not movie characters, in fact. Take real life people as an example and think to yourself that, or even guys who you might inspire to be in your friend circle or in your school, maybe in your college, maybe in your office, anywhere. What does this guy does that I don't have, which I could do to make me happy, which I could do to make me more masculine? There's always that one guy that has something that you don't have, right? So go out there, find who he is, emulate, don't copy. I said emulate, but do not copy. So all these impulsive decisions are created by the fact that you are being manipulated and subconsciously programmed into an identity. But what I want you to do in order for you to have the power of conscious decisions is that I want you to break free from all these identical manipulation, from all these influences and the movies trying to manipulate you to be weak. They might portray a characteristic of a person that you might like, and they might link it with something which is bad for you, but they might link that bad thing with a gift trap so that you don't even know it's a bad thing. That's the problem with today's society. They gift trap everything. They don't tell the truth. They just don't want to hear the truth. That's the problem. So break free from the identity of the person that you don't even create for yourself. Like, you did not choose your name. You did not choose your nationality. You don't choose none of that. But what you can clearly choose is that the type of person that you will be. That is called conscious decision making. You can't have a conscious decision over yourself. Like, why did you watch this video? What are you going to do next after watching this video? Nothing. You're going to go back to scrolling, right? That's what you're going to do. That's like the rest of the population who achieved nothing in their lives. But that's not what you should be. You should be out there, conquering the world, doing stuff based on what you actually truly want, instead of having these societal conditions over yourself, instead of fixing yourself to a particular identity so that you can achieve perfectionism in life. In fact, perfectionism is not even perfect. That's the main point of trying to be perfect. Don't try to be perfect. Instead, try to be better. Try to be, try to be better. Become more than who you are today, more than who you are few weeks ago, more than who you are few months ago. That's what humans who had control over their lives live like. But you're just out here trying to achieve something, trying to do something. Having a clear vision is important too. But trying to be something that you are truly not, it's not going to happen. Because it has to be inside of you. You have to have that fire inside of you that tells you to be that person. Just because people appreciate that person doesn't mean you have to be like that person. Just because people appreciate the guy with big muscles doesn't mean you have to also have big muscles. You might find your interest in being a sports person which requires lesser muscle. You might find yourself interested in having a life with lesser money, but more opportunities, instead of the guy who's always trying to hustle, always trying to make money instead of living his life. So for you to have the skill of conscious decision making, let go of all the manipulation from the media and let go of all the identical terms that you fixed for yourself and create the new version of yourself, because that's how you actually achieve control of your life. That's how you actually achieve the things that you want. If you want to achieve the things that you actually truly want, then you have to be the man that you want to be. So start thinking to yourself. Start thinking, actually, in fact. Start thinking about how the world works, why the world works this way, why is this person saying this, why are they showing me these visuals. Once you start thinking to yourself, it will be very easy for you to become conscious of your own mind. When you become conscious of your own mind, then you can simply take decisions which will help you to have control of your life. So that the next time someone asks you, how's your life? You can reply to them with, it's absolutely fantastic. Make sure that you share this video to a friend of yours or a brother of yours or a brother of yours or maybe a family member of yours who you find that the message in this video might be really helpful to. And yeah, become the best version of yourself.